Hello guys and welcome back to my channel. Today in this video I'm going to check the Eachine E013 Plus beginner-friendly micro-brush quadcopter. In this video I'm going to quickly go over its features, show you how to operate it, and then show you some flight footage. This quadcopter is available in a couple of versions. First of all, you can get it bundled with the Eachine VR006 FPV goggles, which is an excellent budget-friendly option. You can also get it bundled with racing gates. You can choose between red and white colors. And finally, you can get it with either 1, 2, or 3 1S 500 mAh LiPo batteries. Inside the box, you can find the quadcopter. Mine is a little bit beaten up because I've already tested it. The remote controller, it's using 4 AAA batteries, which are not included. A phone or a screen holder, which you can attach to the remote controller, and it can be useful if you're going to use an OTG receiver. In addition, you also get in the user manual, a simple USB charger, a screwdriver, either 1, 2, or 3 500 mAh LiPo batteries, depending on the version that you've got. And finally, you get in one set of spare 40mm props, and as you can see, I only have 2 because I lost the other 2. These transparent propellers are very easy to lose, and also in my experience, they do not fit very well on the shaft and they can just fall off easily. So what I recommend to do is to use some glue, or even better, get the Mobula 7 propellers, which in my experience are going to fit better on the motor shaft. The quadcopter itself is shaped like a Formula 1 racing car. It features a very flexible frame, which is not going to break easily, and I did crash this quadcopter a lot, and as you can see, it's still in one piece. On the front of the quadcopter, you can find a 1000 TV line Cmos Camera, and it's fixed so you won't be able to adjust its angle. It's connected to a 48 channels VTX that has a selectable output strength of 25 and 0.1 mV, and it also supports smart audio, so you'll be able to configure the frequency using the remote controller. On the VTX, you can find 2 rows of LEDs. The 8 ones on the bottom are going to indicate the channel, and the top ones are going to indicate the band. The VTX is connected to the flight controller using this connector, and it only powers up the VTX and also provides the option to control the frequency using the smart audio feature, and OSD is not supported, so you won't be able to monitor the battery voltage on your FPV feed. Over here you can find the flight controller that has an integrated receiver, and unfortunately I did not manage to bind this receiver with a multi-protocol transmitter. The motors that are being used are 0820 brushed motors, and on top of them you can find 4-bladed 40mm props. On the bottom you can find the place for the battery, and as you can see it fits very well like that. The connector that is being used is this flat joystick connector, and you can also find over here the motor connectors, so changing the motor is very easy. On the front of the quadcopter, next to the camera, you can find this button, which will allow you to change between the different channels and bands, and also if you're going to long press it for 3 seconds, it's going to toggle between 25 mV and 0.1 mV options. The weight of the E013 Plus is 36 grams without the battery, and 49.5 grams including it, so it's not a very light quadcopter, but in my experience these are pretty powerful motors, so they can handle the weight of the quadcopter with no issues, and using the included 500 mAh LiPo battery will get you 5 minutes of flight time, which is pretty decent. In order to bind the quadcopter with its remote controller, first turn on the quadcopter. Now it's turned on, and as you can see the red LED over here is flashing. Then turn on the remote controller and push the throttle all the way to the top and then to the bottom, and now the quadcopter is bound, and you can see that the red LED indicator over here is now solid. On the remote controller you can find over here the trim buttons for the sticks. Over here you can find the start and stop button and also the turtle mode button, so you can see that now after pressing this button the propellers start spinning, and after pressing it again they stopped. When the quadcopter is turned upside down, for example after a crash, you can also press this button and then turtle mode is going to be enabled. And as you can see, now the quadcopter flipped itself. On the top left corner of the remote controller, you can find the mode selection button. When it beeps once, it means that it's on stabilized mode, which means that the quadcopter is going to stabilize itself. When it beeps twice, it's on semi-stabilized mode, and I found that the quadcopter still stabilizes itself, but it allows it to get to more aggressive angles. And finally, when it beeps 3 times, the quadcopter is on manual mode, which means that if you are going to roll, for example, to the right, the quadcopter is going to continue to fly to the right. But I found that it's a little bit too hard to fly using this mode, and I recommend to stick to semi-stabilized mode. Finally, over here you can find the B+ and C+ buttons, which are going to enable you to switch between the 6 available bands and the 8 available channels. Short pressing these buttons are going to switch between the bands or the channels. So for example, right now the quadcopter is set to 5740, and if I'm going to press the channel button, it's going to switch to the next channel. So you can see now the video signal was lost. And if I'm going to press it again for another 7 times, now we're back to 5740. To be honest, I think that even though it's kind of cool to change the frequency using the remote controller, I think that it's better just to stick to using this button, because you can accidentally change the channel or the band during the flight, and then you're going to lose the video feed. The next thing I'm going to do is to share some FPV and line of sight flying, and overall I can tell you that the Eachine E013 Plus is a beginner-friendly quadcopter. It's pretty durable. It will allow you to get about 5 minutes of flight time, which is pretty good. And if you're going to get 3 LiPo batteries, you can just charge another battery while you're flying and you will be pretty much settled. In addition, I can tell you that in terms of range, you can get to about 150 meters, which is good. And overall, I can tell you that I was pretty pleased with its performance. Just make sure to get the Mobula 7 propellers or put some glue on the propellers that you have. Otherwise, you're going to lose these propellers pretty quickly. I hope you will enjoy the rest of this video. As always, if you have any questions about the Eachine E013 Plus quadcopter, feel free to ask them in the comment section down below. Don't forget to leave a thumbs up if you like this video, and consider subscribing to my channel and hitting the notification bell if you're not already subscribed. See you in my next videos, and goodbye.